Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new topic, but before starting, we'll perform some small activity. But I want two friends to come forward and perform this activity. Come on, students, tell me who two wants to perform this activity. Two friends. Anyone?
दो बच दो बच्चे बोलो भाई कोई
Students, come on.
दो
Okay,
बच्चे
Harman.
हैं।
Harman
Yes, ma'am.
and Muskan. Muskan, are you there? Madhu?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, girls, you will perform this activity as you two are friends. Now,
I am there, but I'm not able to speak because of
oh,
sore throat.
no problem, no problem. Madhu and Harman will perform this activity. Now, Harman, now
Yes,
write
ma'am.
down one of the good quality of Madhu. What you think? One of the good quality of Madhu.
She is very helpful.
Okay, Madhu, have you listened to it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
now
have.
do you want to say something in return to Harman?
Yes. I will say thank you. It's right.
It's right. Okay. Now, students, tell me the way the Harman told something to Madhu, and Madhu listened to it carefully and responded back to her, provided her feedback. So, what is this process called?
Communication.
Very good. So, today, students, our topic is communication. Communication is something that we do in our everyday life. Do you agree with me? Yes? What we are doing right now, are we communicating or not? Tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. So, as we all know that a man is a social animal, he's always keen to communicate his thoughts, ideas, emotions, everything he wants to communicate with others, right? So whenever a person wants to share his ideas or wants to exchange what he feels or what he knows with the other person, this process is called as communication. So communication is a mutual exchange of ideas, feelings, emotions, etc. with others. Okay, students? So communication is the mutual exchange of ideas, feelings, emotions with the other. So when we tell something to others, it is called as communication. So there is a mutual exchange. What a person feels when he tells what he feels, what is in his mind, then when he tells something to other people, this process is called as communication. So communication in everyday life, we communicate through our different senses, right? We can communicate even through our eyes by making some eye expressions. We can also communicate by words. We can communicate by hearing something and responding to it. So communication can be done through any of our senses. Okay, students? And communication is derived from a Latin word that is communis. Communication is derived from Latin word that is communis, which means common. So students, in communication, there is a common exchange of idea. There is a common exchange of idea. That is, मतलब जो भी एक बंदे ने एक दूसरे को बताना है, वो जो बंदे ने समझ लिया, जो दूसरे बंदे ने वो समझ लिया, वो सेम थिंग कॉमन होनी चाहिए. ये नहीं कि बंदे ने अगर कुछ कहा, बट वो अगले बंदे ने इंटरप्रेट कुछ कर लिया. So communication will not be effective. So for effective communication, there should be a common exchange of idea, mutual exchange of idea. Okay, students? Now, we'll study about one of the definitions of communication. Students, open your notebook and write down this definition. According to Harold Kuntz, communication is the students, are you writing down? Communication is the transfer of information from sender to the receiver with the information being understood by the receiver. Students, please write down this definition in your notebooks. Communication is the transfer of information from sender to the receiver with the information being understood by the receiver. So what happens? हमने कुछ अपना आइडिया या अपनी नॉलेज कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन किसी के साथ शेयर करनी है. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि हमने अपना बोल दिया और दूसरे ने सुन लिया, बट दूसरे ने वो सेम वे में इंटरप्रेट करना है, सेम वे में अंडरस्टैंड करना है, फिर रिस्पॉन्ड करना है. ओके, कम्युनिकेशन इफेक्टिव तभी होती है व्हेन वी ट्रांसफर इंफॉर्मेशन, दैट इज द सेंडर who sends message to the receiver. Receiver is a person who receives message with the information being understood by the receiver. अगर इंफॉर्मेशन दूसरे बंदे को समझ नहीं आई तो communication will not be completed, communication will not be effective. So for an effective communication, the information should be understood by the receiver. Students, is it clear? Students, is it clear? Have you written down this definition in your notebooks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So for effective communication, 2 or more people are required. That is, one is the sender and the sender तो एक होता है जिसने अपनी information transfer करनी है, the person who wants to transfer the information to the other people. But the receiver should be minimum 1 or more than 2. Okay? So in this process, minimum 2 or more than 2 people are required. Communication अपने आप से नहीं होती. Some minimum 2 persons are required for the effective communication process. So we'll discuss some of the factors of communication. Factors. Before having any communication, before starting any communication, these factors should be considered, kept in mind. That is, the first one is what is to be communicated. What is to be communicated? What is to be communicated means the content, the information that is to be communicated. Okay. Second is how it is to be communicated. How communicated? The mode of communication. That is, either we are communicating through words like I am doing right now, either we are communicating through some phone call, or we are making some facial expressions to provide our communication, to provide our information to the other persons. So it is the mode of communication. The third factor is who is communicating. Who is communicating? Who is communicating? Who is speaking? That is the sender of the message. So who is communicating? That is the sender. To whom it is communicated? To whom it is communicated? That is the receiver. किसको information हमने provide की है? That is the receiver. And the last is, what are the consequences of communication? Consequences means, students, tell me, what do you mean by consequences?
Result.
Yes.
Result.
Yes. So what are the last factor that should be considered is the what are the consequences of effective communication? That is what is the result of communication? जब हम communication कर लेंगे उसके बाद उसका क्या result होगा? उसके बाद what will be the outcome of that communication? So these 5 factors should be considered before starting any communication. Okay, students, that is what is to be communicated, the message, the information that is to be communicated, how it is to be communicated, the mode of communication, who is speaking, who is communicating, the sender, to whom it is the message is conveyed, that is the receiver, and last is the consequences, that is the result or the outcome that will come after the communication process is completed. Okay, students? Is it fine? Students, please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
So next, students, we'll learn about some of the elements that are involved in the process of communication. There are majorly 4 elements. The first element is the sender. The second element is the message. The third element is the channel, and the last element is the receiver. Okay, students, there are 4 elements in the communication process: the sender, the message, the channel, and the receiver. So first is the sender. Students, tell me, who is the sender? Who is the
person
sender
who
of?
wants to speak
Yes?
something. Person who wants to speak something or convey his
Very
or her
good.
message.
Very good, Pooja. So sender is a person who wants to convey his idea, who wants to tell the information or anything to the receiver. Receiver is the person who receives the message. Sender is the person who sends the message. So what does a sender in this communication process? What happens? The sender sends his message. The sender sends his message. Okay. The message is transferred through some of the channel. Channel means, channel is a mode or the we can say the mode of communication. Either we are communicating through some media, through a phone call, or through face-to-face communication is there. So channel is the mode of communication. Channel through which we are communicating. The message which is transferred. Okay. So through this channel, the message is received by receiver, and after this the receiver replies back to the, or provides his feedback to the sender. Okay, students, I'll go through it once again. The sender is the person who sends the message, who means जो अपने उसके माइंड में होता है, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन उसके माइंड में होती है, उसने जब वो मैसेज के फॉर्म में रिसीवर तक पहुंचानी है, वो पहले क्या करेगा? अपने सेंडर अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन को एनकोड करेगा. What he'll do? Encoding. What is encoding? Encoding is a process in which a person transfers this information into some communication symbols. Communication symbols means वो सेंडर के माइंड में जो है, जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो उसको कुछ अपने वर्ड्स में एक्सप्रेस करेगा या अपने फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन ऐसे करेगा ताकि वो मैसेज रिसीवर तक पहुंच सके. तो उस प्रोसेस को कहते हैं हम इनकोडिंग, जब वो अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन ट्रांसफर करता है किसी कम्युनिकेशन सिंबल में. So this, and after encoding, the message will be formed. The message will be formed in some words or in any other form. So this message will be transferred through some channel. Channel may be either media, phone call, social media पर message करते हैं, कुछ भी हो सकता है channel. So this after the message is encoded, this channel के बाद वो receiver तक message पहुंचेगा. So receiver क्या करेगा? उसको पहले decode करेगा message को. Sender पहले encode करता है. Sender will encode जो कि उसके mind में है वो उसको पहले words में express करेगा. फिर जिस चैनल के थ्रू वो कम्युनिकेशन प्रोसेस जो वो मैसेज आएगा, फिर रिसीवर पहले उसको डीकोड करेगा. डीकोड मींस कि वो जो मैसेज आ रहा है उसको अंडरस्टैंड करेगा अपने लैंग्वेज में या कुछ भी, उसको अपने माइंड में वो डीकोड करेगा, उसको समझेगा, फिर वो एंड में सेंडर को फीडबैक देगा.
ठीक है बच्चे, बस कर, बस. हाँ बच्चे, दो ऑब्जर्वेशन, फीडबैक दो इसमें बच्चे में, क्या ठीक है क्या गलत है. शाबाश.
तो चार्ट वाला टॉपिक रह गया मेरा.
दिखा दे चार्ट, वैसे दिखा दे बच्चे.
So this is the types of communication in an organization. एक formal communication होती है, एक formal communication होती है, which flows through some designed official channels in the organization.
बच्चे ये बहुत ब्रीक लिखा हुआ है, इसमें इतना तो डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. चार्ट पे आप हेडिंग्स लिख सकते हो, उसके बाद आपने एक्सप्लेनेशन तो बोर्ड की सहायता से करानी है या बोर्ड के करानी है ना. और जो चार्ट कॉपी पे लगाया है उसमें मार्जिन नहीं है
सर. उस पे भी मार्जिन बनाना है?
इसी का मिनिएचर फॉर्म है, अगर इस पे मार्जिन है तो उस पे भी होगा.
ओके सर,
है ना. बाकी
ठीक है सर.
टेस्टिंग अच्छी थी, कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल ठीक है, और एक लाइन अच्छी बोली है, ओपन योर नोटबुक्स एंड राइट डेफिनेशन. ये सब नहीं बोलनी है भाई, ठीक है.
ओके.
इसके अलावा किसी बच्चे ने और कुछ बोलना है तो बोलो. टू 208. हाँ बच्चे.
Yes sir. Am I audible sir?
हाँ बच्चे, ठीक है, कराओ शुरू.
Okay. Good morning students. Today we are going to start a new topic, but before that I would like to ask you some questions. Name the process which aims at getting things done effectively and efficiently. Yes students, name the process that aims at getting things done effectively and efficiently.
Management.
Yes, management. And what are the functions of management? What are the
planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating and controlling.
Very good, very good. Yes, these are the functions of management. Now tell me students, who are appointed for performing these functions? Who are made responsible or appointed for performing these functions of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling?
Staff.
Managers. Managers are appointed who perform these functions. Now tell me students, what guides the managers to take decisions while performing these functions? What guides the managers?
Guidelines.
Yes, these are related to guidelines. So students, today we are going to learn about principles of management. Okay, now open your notebooks and write down what principles of management are. Principles of management are general guidelines for decision making and behavior of managers. Principles of management. Principles of management are statement of truth, statement of truth, help managers in making decisions. Okay, so principles of management क्या होते हैं? ये एक principles होते हैं जो guide करते हैं managers को how they have to perform in a particular situation. वो एक situation को कैसे deal कर सकते हैं. Now the question arises, how principles of management are different from principles of pure science. Pure science के भी principles होते हैं, and how management principles are different from it. The major difference between them is that principles of management जो होते हैं, they are not rigid as compared to principles of pure science. So write down, students, principle of management are not rigid like principles of pure science. And also, principles of management are deal with the human behavior. जो management के principles होते हैं, they deal with human behavior as compared to principles of science which are tested and formed in laboratories. Nothing like this is done in principles of management. They are not made in laboratories. Okay, so principle of management. Next point is deal with human behavior. Now, how principles are different from values. Principles and values. How principles are different from values. अब values and principles में क्या फर्क होता है? Name any one value that you have learned from your family or from school. What are the values?
To respect elders,
Yes, values are to respect elders or
to speak the truth,
yes, to speak the truth, honesty. ये सब हमारी values होती हैं. So the major difference between principles and values is that principles are ethical, whereas values are ethical. Okay? Principles are technical. And जो values होती हैं, they are ethical. Right? Now we will learn about features of principles of management. Features of principles of management. Features. Now the first feature is general guidelines. General guidelines. Students, principles of management are general guidelines. What does it mean is that they do not provide ready-made solution to the problems. ये नहीं कि जो एक बार प्रिंसिपल बन गया हमारा यही solution रहेगा. No, they do not provide ready-made solution to the managers. They are just guidelines. They will guide you, but they will never provide you a ready-made solution. Why so? Because real life situations and real life problems are different. Okay, they are not मतलब वो थोड़ी और टेक्निकल होती हैं. So general guidelines and principles of management, ready solution नहीं है. Next is formed by experiments and experience. So जो principles of management होते हैं, they are formed by experiment and experience. ये laboratories में जाके नहीं ready हो जाते, observation पे depend करते हैं. हम observe करते हैं, फिर जाकर principles of management ready हुए हैं. Next is contingent. Now what do you mean by contingent? Yes, anyone? Contingent means something that can be changed. So principles of management, they can be changed or they can be applied depending upon the situation. They can be applied depending upon the situation. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to apply that particular principle only in that particular situation. They can be changed, they can be used depending upon the situation, whatever the situation demands. Next is flexible. This we have discussed earlier also, that principles of management are not at all rigid. They are flexible. They can be modified as and when required. They can be modified as and when required. Okay? And last is universal applicability. Universal applicability. It is clear from the name itself that principles of management are universally applicable. They are applicable in all situations, in all situations, all organizations, and at all levels. Okay, students? So now we have done the basics of principles of management. Now, today we are going to start Fewell's principles of management. Fewell's principles of management. Fewell was a mining engineer and a management theorist. Okay, students, and he further has stated 14 principles of management that helps a manager in each and every situation. Now, to begin with, first and foremost principle of Fewell is division of work and specialization. Division of work and specialization. It means that according to Fewell, he says that work should be divided into small tasks and that work should be done by a specialist or a trained employee. इसका फायदा क्या होगा? What will be its benefit is that suppose in an organization, एक organization में 4 departments हैं, that is marketing department, production department, finance department, and HR, human resource. Okay, and the employer who is trained in production, who knows how to produce the goods, he will be working in that department, and one accountant and all, they all will be working in finance department, right? So if we shift the employers from finance department to production department, they will not be able to do their work effectively and efficiently. So Fewell suggests that first of all you should divide the work. It should be divided into small tasks, and second, that work should be assigned to a person who is trained in that particular job. Okay, division of work and specialization. Now, second principle is authority and responsibility. Students, what is authority? Authority. Authority is that you, first of all, you tell me who has authority in an organization. Which level of management has the authority in the organization?
Top level.
Yes, right, top level. So they have authority for giving work to the subordinates. Okay, and what is responsibility? Responsibility, it is the obligation to perform the task assigned. Authority क्या होती है? To assign the jobs, and responsibility is that you have to perform, you have to complete the work assigned to you, right? And Fewell says that there should be balance between authority and responsibility. Now you are giving authority to an employee to crack a deal at 10% discount, but you are एक मिनट, अथॉरिटी आपने दी है कि आपको डील क्रैक करनी है, बट आप वो उसको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं ले रहा, तो यहाँ पे बैलेंस नहीं बैठ पाएगा.
So Fuel suggests that there should be balance. Now my Fuel's next principle is discipline. Discipline is obedience that an organization has to follow, right, students? For example, managers and employers of an organization, they have entered into an agreement that managers will work overnight without any additional pay to revive the company out of the losses, right? And in return, management also promised to increase the pay of the employers once the mission is achieved. This is discipline. Without any heated argument, we have हमने अपना काम भी पूरा कर लिया एक डिसिप्लिन फॉर्मेट में एंड कुछ हॉच पॉच भी नहीं हुआ. ओके, डिसिप्लिन. नेक्स्ट इज यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड. Unity of command states that there should be one and only one boss. There should be not more than one boss. For example, production manager has asked the employer to crack the deal at 10% discount, but finance manager has asked the employer to crack the deal at 5% discount. Here there will be confusion in the mind of the employer. So he will not be able to do his work effectively and efficiently. So this principle states that there should be one and only one boss. Note it down in your notebook. Unity of command states that there should be one boss. Okay? Next principle is unity of direction. Unity of direction states that work should be divided and there should be proper division of work and work should be coordinated also, right? And this principle states that unity of direction states that one head and one plan. एक ही प्लान हो एंड एक ही हेड हो. वन हेड एंड वन प्लान. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक कंपनी में one company manufactures both cars and motorcycles, right? So both the departments should have separate division, separate head, separate plan, separate resources, but their goal should be same, that is to either to increase the profit or capture the market share, whatever they have decided, right? So most of the students confuse between unity of command and unity of direction. I am repeating once again. Unity of command means there should be one and only one boss, whereas unity of direction means one head and one plan, right? Now next
ठीक है बच्चे,
principle is
बस कर. ठीक बच्चे, दो फीडबैक.
सर एक्सप्लेनेशन काफी अच्छी है.
ठीक है, और बताओ. शाबाश. और किसी ने ऑब्जर्व नहीं किया? हाँ बच्चे.
सर ब्लैक बोर्ड राइटिंग थोड़ा.
हाँ, राइटिंग थोड़ी इम्प्रूव करना लिए. थोड़ा ब्लैक बोर्ड भी छोटा है, इस करके भी हो सकता है ना, अपन को लग रहा है.
हाँ.
एक बच्चे चार्ट ते अन्य सारे पॉइंट लिख रखे ने. चार्ट दिखाओ थोड़ा पास ले जाके.
हाँ जी, एक मिनट सर.
हाँ, हम चार्ट थे ना बड़े बरीक लिख रखे हैं. और देखो मार्जिन तो बाहर पॉइंट लिखते है ना, पॉइंट सारे अंदर ही आने, मार्जिन तो बाहर कुछ नहीं लिखना.
पॉइंट भी अंदर आना है,
सब कुछ अंदर आएगा, मार्जिन तो बाहर कुछ नहीं. ठीक है. और देखो फ्यूल्स ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉੱਪਰ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਰਤਾ ਹੈ. ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. ਮੇਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਵੱਡੇ ਕਰਨੇ ਸੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ.
ओके सर.
हाँ ਮੇਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਛੋਟੇ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ हैं ਤੇ ਔਰ ਕਾਪੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਚਾਰਟ ਲਗਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਪਾਰਟਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਲਗਾ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ
कैसे सर सॉरी
ਕਾਪੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਦੋ ਟੋਟੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਨਾ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ
हाँ जी हाँ
ਹਾਂ
जी हाँ जी
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਚਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਲਿਖੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਪੀ 'ਚ ਚਾਰਟ ਲਗਾਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ
ओके सर
ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਕੋਈ ਫਲੈਸ਼ ਕਾਰਡ ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਫੋਟੋ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਵੀ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਕਰੋ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਨਾ
ओके सर
ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਆਨਸਰ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ
ओके
ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੈ
हाँ जी
ਚਲੋ
सर
ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਬੱਚਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਬਜ਼ਰਵੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਬੱਚੇ
सर स्पीड मेरी फास्ट है स्लो है मतलब
ठीक है
speed
बच्चे स्पीड ठीक है स्पीड में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं ठीक है
ओके सर
हाँ चलो